Dave from the Redneck Garage. Well, I've been working on this frame for the past couple days, and I've come to some realizations, and some are hard to take, truthfully, for me. Let's just take a look at some of the frame pieces I've had to contemplate for the last couple days. I thought we'd do a couple shots of things that made me worry about the frame. If you look at this here, you can see that this front shackle support has got a lot of rust on it. I can actually wiggle it back and forth a little. So that isn't gonna fly, right? As you can see, that's sad, and I'd have to do some more welding there. Now, the outside of the frame welded up really nice. You can tell that I got pretty good penetration, even for a small welder. But on the back side, it's almost impossible to get to unless it's on a lift. So really the best way to do this would be to take the body off. Now, if I'm going to take the body off, there's where I run into my issues. So the outside's welded, but the inside is not on either side. I was going to have to try to get in there and weld the inside portion of that frame rail support. As I went through, this would be the next section that I was going to have to replace on the back section of it, and truthfully it's in really bad shape also, and that is one of the harder parts to get straight. If it was on a lift, maybe I could do some measurements or something like that, but in the driveway it makes it almost impossible to make sure that you're getting it straight on there. And I didn't take the springs off, which I don't know, maybe that would be, anyway, it's just a mess, man. This is what was left of the old frame, and you can tell that it was just eaten up. Even with the patch panels in it, there's not much left of it. Rough. I'm concerned about this section here where the new shackle is welded on, and whether that was completely square or not, because if it's not, then this whole piece here could actually be, there was so little metal left when I cut it out, then this could actually be maybe a quarter or half inch out of alignment, which would make the rear end not be straight. So after taking all that into account, I've kind of considered everything everybody said. Jerry, I don't need any comments. I think what I'm going to do is just replace the frame. I've made a valiant effort to replace it, but truthfully the problem that I've run into is trying to weld on the back side of this frame. Now, to weld on the back side of the frame, I would have to do what? Take the cab off. The only things now that I have to take off to be able to roll the frame out is take the transmission, which is unhooked. It's just really sitting there on a jack stand right there. Unhook it from the front and the rear, and the clutch cable. Steering shaft coming out of the tub. That is the only thing that's still connected. I'll have to take off the gear shift, and it should just roll right out. Well, if I'm going to take the cab off of it, why not just take a whole new frame and slide back underneath it, right? So I've got some redneck engineering to hold this up while I roll the frame out from underneath, and I think that's going to be super cool. I've done some pricing. I found a frame for either $350 or $400. I'm going to go get a U-Haul, pick it up. But in the meantime, I'm going to this place. Super cool. My good friend Devin and his wife Kristen and Jennifer and I are going to be going to the Big Apple, and we're going to experience a lot of cool things in New York City before it completely gets destroyed by the progressive liberal de Blasio. But I digress. We've got this super cool hotel that overlooks Central Park, and if we don't get knifed or killed in the meantime as we go through Central Park, it's going to have some really cool videos from that. So I'm excited. But when we get back from New York, I'm going to be doing some videos on getting the frame, bringing it back. I'm probably just going to go rent a U-Haul rather than trying to put a trailer behind a truck and all that. I can go rent a U-Haul and pick it up. It's about an hour and a half away. And Randy's going to go with me, and we're going to start doing the swap on this. One more reason that makes me think about going ahead and swapping the frame is because at this point, the cab is off of the frame. Everything's loose. Transmission's not attached. Engine's out of it. So if I'm going to do it, now is the time, even though it's going to be a little bit bigger hassle as far as getting the frame and getting it up here. I believe before I start trying to do the rear end of this and maybe having it crooked like I was showing you before, this is going to be the best option. So yeah, you guys are right. I probably shouldn't have tried to resurrect it. But you you know what? Sometimes you have to just go back to the drawing board and say, let's do it this way. So I appreciate all your comments and suggestions. We're about to hit 3,000 subscribers. That's super cool. Thank you so much for being a subscriber to the Redneck Garage. I've loved every minute of doing the videos, and I believe we're going to actually move quicker by getting a new frame than take the cab off and trying to weld the frame up and do all that garbage. At least I know that it's going to be good and straight as we start out. Sometimes they're just not savable, and I think I just caught this one a little bit too far. It's like an apple with a rotten part in the middle, and the more you cut off, the worse it gets. That's kind of what I feel about this frame. So I'm not sad about it, but I am happy that we're going to be going in a little bit different direction so I can get this stupid thing finished. Anyway, next videos are going to be from New York City. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.